Hello everybody, this is Bob and I'm in Chiang Mai, Thailand. Several things going on this week, a lot of big changes. COVID outbreak that started about 2 weeks ago has gone from 4,000 cases to 60,000 in about 10 days. There's a lot of refugees coming in out of the political unrest and the COVID problems in Myanmar, and we're having to deal with them too. And I'll try to bring you up on some of that, or all of that, or most of that in the next few clips. Nice to see everybody. I hope not a one of you is sick. The health ministry has put out some guidance and shows where the worst of the COVID is right now, but it's expanded over the last 2 weeks and it's now just about everywhere. Here in Chiang Mai, for like 6 months, we didn't have a single case, and now we're getting 100 every day. So it's something you got to be careful about. The restrictions here, they don't want you out between 10 and 4 a.m. If you go out, you need to have a mask on. The condo I live in wants you to wear a mask on the elevator. And now that it's kind of getting hot and sticky here, I gotta tell you, this turns into a mop after a good walk on a hot day. They're claiming we will have vaccines by June. There's been a lot of negativity toward the Minister of Health because they haven't already got it out. And I'm guessing we're getting pressure from the U.S. not to buy the Chinese Sinovac because it is available. And probably the same is true with the Russian Sputnik, although I'm less sure about that. But Thailand has gotten new restrictions in place. They claim they're getting the vaccines going. So I guess they're doing as much as they can do. But if you're in Bangkok, if there are 2 people in the car, you better have masks on because they will find you. Now, 6,000 to 20,000 baht, which is maybe $200 to 17 or 18,000 have been stated as the fines for not wearing masks. Thailand does have a tendency to have laws with high fines and next to no enforcement, so we don't know how that's going to go. The Prime Minister gave a speech without wearing a mask the other day, and several news agencies ran the story that he was fined 6,000 baht. But I have a feeling that was really a message that anybody can get fined, and you better watch out. I don't mean to belittle the way they do with things, but I've been here going on 7 years, and I have observed some interesting stuff. Now, I don't know how this mask thing works with a motorcycle. If you're on a motorcycle alone, I'm guessing that you don't have to wear a mask. But if you're riding double, well, I don't know. That's the kind of vagueness you get sometimes from information here in Thailand. So, the unrest over in Myanmar, I'll call it Burma from time to time, that's what all my Burmese friends call it. So, there's 2 things going on over in Myanmar. One of them is Myanmar is a bit like California. It's got mountains on the east and mountains on the west. And in the case of Myanmar, they're densely forested tropical rainforest jungles. The main business and food thing going on in Myanmar happens in the middle of the country. Just don't think about the Shan State right now because it's not too active. But east and west, there are 3 armies, or 1 army and 2 militias that are active. The Rohingya in the west have been fighting the Myanmar government army for a long time. The Karen on the east are a huge group of tribal people, and none of the Rohingya or the Karen are like citizens of the countries they've been living in for centuries. So that presents a weird situation, and both the Karen and the Rohingya have militias. You might think, slingshots and throwing coconuts and stuff right quick off, but the Karen militia has just destroyed a Myanmar Army camp over on the Thai border, and they had video of them chasing the Myanmar soldiers down and killing them. That none of them were going to surrender. The Karen had their villages bombed by Myanmar for the first time in 20 years this week, and there's a heck of a lot of them living in the caves over on the river that separates Thailand from Myanmar. A lot of them are in caves. The Myanmar government is trying to prevent food and medicine getting to them, and there was a little flare-up the other day because the Myanmar troops fired on a Thai border patrol. Now, Thailand is about twice as powerful or more than Myanmar, so it's not likely that anything will get stirred up. And there was some typical stupidity in that. Number one, the Thai border cops were not wearing their uniforms. Two, the Thai cops were in a private boat. And number three, this is the craziest part, the way they let you know, the Myanmar Army lets you know if you're supposed to pull into one of their river checkpoints, they fire guns. So that was pretty whacked out, but they seem to have gotten that one. A mutual understanding that it was a boo-boo seems to have resulted from it. Now, there was a recent meeting of ASEAN, ASEAN, which is a sort of like a Southeast Asia political party cocktail group, so to speak. I don't see them as, they're like kind of a toothless tiger. For the latest meeting, the head guy from Myanmar and the head guy from Thailand didn't even attend, and after agreeing to cut back on the violence, Myanmar was shooting and bombing people again within a day or two. So they're not going to play by the rules. They're going to continue to do what they damn well please. And you can't discount the fact that creating an insurrection in Myanmar would be a thing the CIA would love to do. They would love to do, especially with the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative going on. And China, if there's an insurrection, China's not going to send in builders if things aren't under control. So the CIA's been sneaking around doing dirty little things. You can guarantee it. Okay, so that's it for the week. That's about everything I can think of has happened. A couple of Fox News viewers downstairs are boycotting the outdoors because they're upset about the mask rule. But geez, if it works for the countries that have very low COVID numbers, then maybe some of the people with very high COVID numbers should readjust their thoughts on that particular topic. It's been swell. I hope to see you again. I'm looking forward to it.